This is the Astrhori 27mm F2.8 APSC Nikon Z mount lens. Now in this review, I'm actually going to be testing this lens out on my Nikon Z50II, which is a crop sensor camera. So this lens, it retails for just $126 US. So for that type of money, how does it perform? Find out next. Special thanks to the team at Pergear for sending me out this Astrhori lens to test and review. But Pergear aren't paying me to do this review, so any sort of findings or opinions I've got of this lens are all mine. The lens comes in this cool looking box, and inside you get your front and rear lens caps, manual, the lens itself of course, and a nice little touch, they also include a USB cable for future firmware updates. Looking around the lens to begin with, it's pretty small and lightweight. You can see it in comparison to the size of my hand here. The manual focus ring was a little firm to turn, and there was a USB-C port at the rear that did have a cover on it for added protection. As mentioned, it's an APS-C or DX lens and has a full frame equivalent focal length of approximately 40mm. It's available on the Sony E, Nikon Z and Fuji X mounts. Aperture range is f2.8 to f16 and it weighs just 165 grams. Filter thread size is 39mm and minimum focus distance is 30 centimeters. It's constructed of 6 elements in 5 groups and it has 6 aperture blades. Wide open at f2.8, you get some nice sharpness in the center of the frame, but in the corners there is some noticeable vignetting and a bit of softness. Stepping through to f4, you get better results in the corners, with f5.6 and f8 looking pretty much the same in results. So the Astrhori 27mm f2.8 APS-C Nikon Z mount lens. I think this would be amazing as a walk around daytime prime. And where else better than to come to a fantastic Australian beach and try it out. Just a little side note here, I love having that flip out screen now on the Z52. It allows me to get those low angle shots with ease. I just got some shots and video of this massive container ship out at sea there, and that was shot with the 4K at 25 frames per second in 8-bit. It still does such an amazing job at 4K, even when you're not using that 10-bit N-Log. I also had the opportunity to fire off a few shots of plants in my bird garden in stills and video. So who's this lens for? Well, obviously if you're not splashed with cash and can't afford the native Z mount prime lenses, then this Astrhori 27mm f2.8 could be a viable alternative. As a general walk around lens, I found it did a good job combined with my Z52 for stills and video. Although remember, when this lens is attached to the Z52, it does not offer VR or image stabilization. So for slower shutter speeds or video, maybe aim at using a tripod or monopod. One thing I noticed with this lens is that it had this very slight whirring noise when focusing. Now this is only audible in very quiet situations though, and I don't think it would be an issue out in the field, but I thought I'd just mention it, and I'm not sure if it's just maybe a copy of the lens I got or not. In summation of this Astrhori 27mm F2.8 lens, I think it would make for a nice budget compact setup on Nikon DX cameras. I'm thinking for things like general walk around, street photography. I think it'd be great for traveling, as well as the odd little bit of portrait work. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Never stop creating, and I'll see you next time.